Hi, this is Rich Truesdell. I am at Freeway Isuzu Trucks in Corona, California on a pretty special day. My buddy Mark on the left, Mark Fletcher, is taking possession of a 6,000-mile 1972 AMC Javelin AMX. On the right is John Palmeri, who's going to do a little setup on this, on how he acquired the car, and on now it's going on to Mark, probably the nation's most enthusiastic AMC owner. John?
Well, this car had come to me by a dear friend. His formal name's Donald Unrein, and everybody called him Blackie. He was involved in trucking and distribution. My business here is Freeway Isuzu, so it's no coincidence that he'd come to purchase a truck and we had met, and we built a long relationship over time, and he was near and dear to my heart. He's no longer with us. This is his ashes. Anyhow, while he was alive, his brother had passed, and when his brother passed, he'd left some things that were for him in Kansas, of which were in a hangar, purportedly. And with that, he went there, and there was this car, which is a 1972 Go Package AMC AMX, loaded up, slap shift, 401, neat car. I didn't know much about him at the time, but Blackie had come on some hard times because he was in his 80s, and we were such good pals that I felt like, this is someone I can help. You can either give it to the church or give it to people you love, or do both. Right. Well, he was one of the persons I loved, so I said, look, Blackie, you're just going to go probably gamble it away anyway. So why don't I just give you $1,000 a month until we're done? Mm-hmm. And so a couple years later, maybe 2.5 years later, you can do the math. I hadn't even shared that with Mark, but he'd made his final payment, and the sad part is when he made his, I didn't know I was making a final payment to him, or the monies that he'd collected, that at that time he actually passed. So it was kind of a bittersweet ending for me, because I really enjoyed his company. But nonetheless, about the car, pristine car. I got it with probably 5,950 miles. I've driven it, 80 miles maybe. It's what I would consider it to be a time capsule. It's original in all of its way, shape, or form. I did give it a tune-up. I have changed some oils. I did keep the PACCAR wires and things like that because I recognized that the car was so original that it should remain the way that it is, which, I didn't have any love for the car outside of my love for Blackie and the ability to get him through the next day. Mm-hmm. And so what I really wanted is to make sure that it went to an enthusiast of some sort, and it looks like I got pretty lucky with you two.
You did.
Because Mark and yourself, I've seen your car in the magazine that I think Mr. Truesdale is all about. And to make a long story short, I'm happy that it gets to be in possession of someone that really recognizes its time capsule feature, if you will. And, all the paperwork's original. I've got a title signed off here that's pretty cool from Kansas. It's handwritten. I've got the window sticker, the warranty, the tire warranty, the decoding of the car. Of course, I did some research on my own and wanted to find out what it was. So once I found out it was a Z code and it was truly a 401, I knew that I had something. Again, I really wasn't interested in making any money or anything like that. I was really trying to help someone. Well, now I feel like I'm doing it again, because the truth is you're going to end up with something that is near and dear to you, which frankly, this doesn't, I'm a dealer, you can't fall in love with any of this stuff. Yeah. But anyways, so more stuff, I've got the education on the car, 72. I've got the old stickers that you're supposed to send back, and I don't even know what I have. An old registration.
The materials are 48 years old.
Yeah. Well, 49, right?
And preserved.
21. Yeah. This is, to put the license plate on. This is pretty cool, actually. These, I got all the originals. Look at how oxidized and cool they are. They've never even been turned on the flats.
That's great.
So, anyways, I left that in there. And then, I don't know what I have. Fire protection, tires, service. This is cool. This is so this car was purchased in Kansas, but to take delivery, it was somewhere in Kansas City is the way it was told me. Mm-hmm. and that they brought that down that night and had won a race in Kansas, the south of Kansas. And for that, this is the picture on the following day after he'd won the race. And then it was put away in a hangar for some time, and that's how anyway, that's just how it works.
Great.
John, in front of you, explain what we have here.
These caps were near and dear to Blackie, or Donald, the brother of Jim that owned the car. And the reason why I say that is because he kind of had, these are cast. So for that, there's not much castings for him. He was missing one. We probably would have never had the discussion other than because he's missing one, we had the discussion. So I figured they should probably go with the car, but they're pretty rare, very expensive. If you look them up and try to find them, they're worth some money.
Mark's going to try to get the fourth one. And then what's next to there?
And the wheels, yeah.
Yeah, this here, it's never even been opened. This is like, how you go into service and they drag it over. Well, it's still in the envelope.
The warranty.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here?
This is Donald or Blackie's remains. So when he died, I felt so bad, and his family had gotten in touch with me that I felt like I should participate. So I did monetarily as well as emotionally, and they sent me that as a gift, and I think that should go with the car. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Even though Blackie's probably mad at me, he's like, "Hey, brother, you can't wash your hands of me. You're supposed to be. I'm supposed to be in your office with you at all times. I still got the guy you left me, Blackie. You're still in there."
There you go.
This here is another title. I don't really understand why there's two, but there is. I think one of them was like the original, and then it gets signed off, and then, so this is the original, it gets signed off, becomes the other one, I don't know.
Probably one.
And this
of
is
the
all
logos
Kansas
taken.
material.
Yeah.
All Kansas material, owner's manual. All the payments I made them, I'm not going to probably give you that.
No,
There's no reason to give you that.
No reason to publish that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then just notes that I made, that's how cute we were, is that we just initialed when I paid. That's fine.
Good friend.
So, yeah, he's a good dude. That's about it. All this other stuff was I had a friend that wanted to bring it to Meekum, which I did, and of course, you know how friends go. I ended up being the last car on the last day, which wasn't very fun. But I will tell you that they are the ones that coined it, a time capsule. And in their magazine or their promotional material prior to sale, there was only one time capsule, and it was this car.
And what year was the car at Meekum?
Well, for very few people to see because it was the last car.
2014.
No, it's recent. It was in Anaheim. Let's see. Yeah, you're right. It was a long time ago. Wow.
You have
I've been
no
doing the
idea
research.
since we met you last week.
11/21 of 13.
Okay. Yeah.
And I first looked for it. I couldn't find it. So Mark is, I guess you could say I've trained you well.
If you'd have seen the pandemonium,
he's become an automotive journalist in his own right.
if you'd have seen the pandemonium on the car at that time, it was really amazing. But I realized that the AMC crowd is a different crowd.
That's for sure.
Yes.
Not very trustworthy. Don't really care what the thoughts of anyone would be other than what they believe. And it was very difficult for them to believe that the car, in fact, was a time capsule. And I didn't have the time nor the energy. Again, my love was not necessarily for the car.
Right.
My love was for an enthusiast and the guy that I had done what I did for.
Right.
So when they want to come around and look at this special thing, which they loved, and it fired and it ran and everything was great, had more people around my car than any car. And when they want to hear the story, I don't think they were willing to receive it. So that was kind of a turnoff.
Well, our task is to change that.
Yeah.
Some of us.
So that was actually a little bit offensive.
Yeah.
So at that point, I just put it away until now, and here we are.
Good timing.
A lucky break for Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky break for Mark and a good day for Blackie.
Good.
So I'm sure he'd be pleased.
To tell you my plans with the car, I have a low mileage 70 marked AMC Javelin. You've seen that.
That's the green one.
The green one, 47,000 miles. I bought it from the original owners up in Nebraska. I fixed the little things that needed to be fixed, and I've got it to the point that it's like a brand new 1970 car. And the plan is this will be next to it. In fact, I'm taking this car to Colorado Springs to the AMO Nationals in June in place of my Javelin that I had planned to. And we will have the top collectors of AMCs that come to these national events see it all in June.
Oh,
So
maybe I'll go.
Yeah, all this preservation, that'd be wonderful to have you there. All the preservation you've done, all the preservation that Blackie and his brother James has done to preserve a car as it was made from 1972. Number one, it'll be preserved and improved slightly, just removing a little dust and age.
Mhm.
But other than that, the car will look like the day they bought it in that photo and the day they raced it. And the idea is to get it in front of other people that will enjoy it, because that's the fun for me.
But not sell it.
Oh, no. The idea is to take it and show it and get people to realize that they do exist and this is how they were made. I was chair of the AMO Nationals for a few years when I lived in the Midwest, and I tried to get a preservation class because AMO is a great organization, but the trophies are awarded to those cars that are bright, shiny, and new, restored. And so we're painting over all of the original markings and the manufacturing process and everything else. So this is my chance to go underneath the car and detail the little bit of top rust by removing it and clear coating it, not painting it. It wasn't painted from the factory. It shouldn't be painted now. But when you go to an AMO National, all those chassis and suspension parts are painted.
Yeah.
Because they don't know different. So the goal is this car can become the standard.
The reference.
Other cars will then be restored accurately.
Hence the term time capsule.
That's right. That's right. So I will actually drive the car 5 miles on Saturday if I get all my maintenance things done to a local cruise or a Cars and Coffee Saturday morning in Lake Elsinore. And other than that, it gets through.
That'd be awesome.
In fact, today there's a little Cars and Coffee at a pizza place tonight. I'm leaving it on the trailer. I'm going to take it down and show people locally, and then it'll go into the garage tonight.
Awesome.
So, but it's to me, it's a great find. It's the same way James and Blackie and you have cherished that car, I will cherish it.
So the last probably bit of information that is valuable to you is, I put that car out on the internet and it probably had 220 persons that looked at it. I didn't really know what I was doing. Actually, if you want to know the truth, it was an accident.
Right.
The way that ended up on the internet.
Okay.
I was playing around with Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
And somehow I couldn't figure out how to get it off once it got on, and it showed it as free.
Oh, yeah.
So I got a pile of people. Everyone knew that it wasn't free, so they just said how much.
Right.
And then I wasn't that interested in having a conversation, so I simply put the number.
Yeah.
And then finally I said, this is driving me nuts. I better incorporate the number in the ad, and plus it's suggesting to put a number on it. So I did, and you were the first person that responded.
Yeah.
And you're the last person to see it. So that's good.
That's good. Well, it was meant to be. We've known of the car for 2 years because it popped up somehow on the internet 2 years ago.
It did.
And we tried to reach out then, but not for me to purchase it. I wasn't in a position to do it at the time. So the timing was perfect. So that I was.
What would you have done then? Asked to help see it preserved and show it?
Yeah. Well, we would have liked to get it photographed and documented so people know it existed, right? And now I get to do that, which is more fun for me, to be honest. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So the timing was right. You were patient. It took a week to get funds out of the retirement account. My wife's on board for this. And
awesome.
So we're gonna have a lot of fun. And I'm 20 minutes up the road anytime you want to see it. So.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks.